afternoon or morning wherever you're watching from. This is about to be the Stop the Back 40 mine up on Stevenson's Island, which is a huge threat to the Menominee Nation, the Menominee River, which is where their creation came from. There's a march here, people are forming up for it. As you're joining, if you can come and share, please, Julie. As you'll see, there's quite a gathering forming. Good morning. We came up here with Nicole, who's got some beautiful signs. You'll see, as always, there's people from all generations, all nations, all relations, same as Standing Rock. Some of the signs that you're going to see. Cyanide being one of the things that comes from this mining process that will go into the water content. Good afternoon, good morning, ladies. You're welcome, Rose. Do us a favour and go ahead and share. Thanks, Alison. I know it's a little windy, so if the sound's a little poor, then I apologise. And we'll be staying with this as long as it goes. So as you're coming in, please go ahead and share this out to some groups, invite some friends. It's about a sulfide mine. You can find more information at menomineeriver.com. Hey Steve, welcome from the UK. Thank you for joining.
Oh, sorry.
We've got a beautiful day for this. Aquila is the company, that is the mining company that are looking to put this mine in. And they're just forming up to start, so.
We're here on Earth Day, and we thank you for coming. We appreciate your presence. We ask that you do this in a good way. We do this with one heart and one mind, and in a way that is respectful to other human beings also. We're trying to save the water. We're trying to save these sacred sites. We're trying to take care of the fish that feed us. And we're trying to take care of Mother Earth. We don't want a big hole in Mother Earth and a big scar. There's no reason to scar her. So these are some of the thoughts that come to me when I come to these things, is how to, our approach is important. And that's why I try to talk to people. You know, find that love in your heart for our fellow human beings. Some of them don't know what's going on. We walked over here with a lady who said she just found out. She lives in town here and she just found out about it. So what we're trying to do is raise awareness. And people will be more aware. People will honk at us as we cross and come back. We're going to cross against the traffic on this side. Then we go over on the other side. We've got to cross a couple of roads and come back. So be careful when you're crossing the road. Take care of each other. We want to make sure we take care of each other. One of the things that we always do as traditional people is we acknowledge those spirits. The spirit of the water. Sometimes when we go to water, I did that in a Cherokee way. They invoke the spirit of the water. And then we go and dunk ourselves in that water. And that cleanses us in ways even more than bathing. But I do take a bath once in a while. Well, a shower then. So, is there any questions? Anybody want to know what the heck I'm doing up here? Because I don't know. Somebody give me an answer. They put me in charge. They didn't know what they were doing. You were trying to save the water today. Yes, and the fish and everything. Thank you, sir. And so that's what we want to remember more. We want to keep that in our minds and our hearts, because the way that we commune without words is that way. We also do it with signs. And that says enough, but also we got to send our energy out in that positive way.
You have to get a hold of your senators.
Here they come. Get a hold of what?
Your senators and tell them.
Yes, thank you, sir. Make sure that you write your representatives, your senators, your state people, and the DEQ. Well, that's the Department of
Environmental
Quality. I didn't want to say.
His name is.
They have and make. Dale has flyers with everybody's name and number on it. Those of you that want to know who to contact. You know, part of getting involved in this thing is also getting our representatives to the government involved in this. One of the things that we always try to do is make sure that we're being effective. It's to be effective to let people know that this is going on. That's why we're doing this march. But it's also to let you know how to get in contact with people that have a little more effect than us. And one of the things that I've started saying is, we got to get out the vote. When they first showed up to me, the letters are GOTV, and I says, "What's GOTV?" It's GOTV, but it's get out the vote, GOTV. So that was something I learned this year. I'm still learning, lifelong learner. So we have a lot of elders here. Please make sure you take care of them. The little ones, make sure they don't run out in the street. And we have a young lady here that's very much involved. Regina is supposed to be in Hawaii, and she gives that up to be here with us to save the river. Regina?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. It's so great to see all of you here supporting our river and, coming together as a community. It's so totally important, everything that you do, and I appreciate everything, every letter that you've written, every call that you've made, every word that you've spoken to tell your neighbors and your friends. I see people out here who write letters for the editor in the newspaper, and that helps a lot. Everything that you're doing, every call and every copy that you make and distribute, every neighbor that you invite to come along to these events, every fisherman that you're contacting and sportsman and sporting group, and we're just each action that we do is making more attention to us, and I especially want to thank our friends who are here from Keshena, because they do more probably than you guys even realize for our community and for helping us to become more organized. I definitely have a lot of thanking to do to all of you. And thank you, Dale Burry and Jeff Budish, for putting this trailer and the sound system together. This is really excellent. It's totally a really good next step in our organization. And I think everybody looks like they're full of energy and getting ready to go. And so we're going to have a sign-up sheet over here. So anybody that's not on our email list, anybody who isn't on Facebook and hasn't joined Save the Menominee River, Stop the Back 40 Mine, please sign on so that you know when we're having different events or different actions. Right now, one of the actions that we're addressing is that we'd like everyone to contact the DNR, with total respect and realizing that they've already rejected this land trade twice, and it's coming up again. Without this land trade, they can't even do their mine. A lot of the ore that they're looking at is on state land, our land. And so if you call the DNR and you tell them that you don't want to give away your land to be destroyed, to help destroy our river, that makes an impact. And I feel like the DNR, they care. That's why they went into that field. And so when you call them with total respect and ask them to continue to deny that land trade, that's I think one of the things that we're working on right now, as well as studying the wetlands permit. And so if you want to, it's available on the internet, just to look it over and try to pick holes into it, or send it off to professionals that you might be aware of to help you pick through it anywhere across the nation. And you find your allies in the most surprising places. And so sign the sign-in sheet. Everyone have a great day, and remember, when we're walking today, it's in love of our river, our community, our children, our future, and that's why we're here. And so we have our brothers from Keshena are here. I asked Guy Ryder to maybe lead us in a prayer this morning, and he and Burton Warrington are going to come up and say some good words. And so again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and keep it up, because thank you.
So as we're going to do a prayer, I'm going to walk down and show you guys the river, because out of respect we can't share the prayer this way. So as you're joining, I'd ask you to continue to share this, and let's go and have a look at the Menominee River, because it's right here and it's beautiful. So we'll be back with the march very shortly. I just want to be very respectful of the fact that it's a prayer, and that is not something that we are able to show. But look at this beautiful, beautiful river. This family that's down here fishing right now. So if you're just joining and don't know what this is about a open pit mine. It's a sulfide mine. It's going to be very similar to the Flambeau mine that was closed down in the same area. It's going to be threatening the Menominee River. Now the Menominee River, what I learned last night was incredible. The Menominee Nation never had a migration story. They have always been on this land. This has always been the land that they've been stewards of. So there's a creation story of their people coming when a bear rose from the river. So unlike many of the other nations, sovereign nations across America, who have had their migration stories, who have been moved from their land and given different land and gone through their trail of tears and their trail of death, the Menominee Nation never had that. They've always been here. They fought off the invasion. They fought off the colonizers, and now they're having to fight off for their sacred waters and protect their land from a foreign mining company again. And they're looking at polluting this river with the wastewater, because this open face mine is 2,000 feet across, or 2,000 meters, I don't remember which, and it's going to be deeper than the tallest building in Wisconsin. It's going to be so deep into the ground, and I don't have all the figures because I'm just learning about this. However, what I will tell you is 150 feet from the river. Now, right now, they've had 3 permits that have been approved. However, there are still another permit to go through. One of the issues is the land that they're looking to use is actually state-owned, and the mining company, what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a land exchange with the state. The mining company owns some different parcels of land, and they need these parcels that are state-owned. So what they want to do is they want to take these, they want to swap their land with the state, and that hasn't gone through yet, and that's something that is going to be fought, and that's something that's going to need public comment. So I'm going to ask you, anyone who knows anything about this, Frank, if you can put some links in this here, please. Put some links regarding the websites that people can use. Put some links regarding where people can find more information. Save the Menominee River is one organisation. Noback40.org or .com, I'm not sure which it is. As I said, I was only travelling these ways. I was in Milwaukee. I didn't even really know about this until I met Nicole Lafort. And Nicole and myself, we met down at Mississippi Stand before Standing Rock. And actually, I met her at a film festival, a little film festival run by the Milwaukee Water Protectors, and she was talking about the Back 40 mine, and it gave me the opportunity to come here and learn, and to be able to live stream this march so that more people can learn. So I see there's 42 of you out there right now. What I'd ask you all to do is to go ahead and stream this. Go ahead and share this. Go ahead and put this in groups. You can jump out of this and go and come back in anytime you want. And this is what we're protecting. This sacred water, this Nibi. Miniwachoni. So right now the public comments aren't open. There will be, as soon as there's information on that, the information will be on the websites there. So this is about learning, this is about seeing, This is about raising awareness about something a lot of people don't know about right now. So appreciate everyone that's out there just wandering down by the river and showing you, you know, these are the things that would be lost. You see there's a family right here, just down here fishing. And you know, if this water, what happens with sulfide mining, and I learnt this, is that you end up with the waste water, and the waste water becomes sulfuric acid. Now, if anyone who's been to school, you know what sulfuric acid does, how acidic that is, and the damage that that would have on the wildlife. It would make the water undrinkable. Hey Brianna, thanks for joining. I'm sorry you couldn't come because you're struggling with some physical health issues. However, you are able to share this out and join us in a virtual world that we now have. So you can see how important this is just to the people here, and I guarantee half these people don't even know about this. So hey Dave, thanks for joining. So right now there's a prayer happening to start this off in a good way, and once that's happened I'm going to go back and join and live stream it, but I'm staying back here until that's happened. As you can see, we're going to be marching over this bridge here. Thanks for sharing. If anyone can share it into some groups, into the Standing Rock Pipeline Protectors page and those kind of groups, that would be awesome. I'm going to try and do that myself right now. So just bear with me if it goes a little shaky for a second. I'm going to see if I can multitask and use my other phone. Hey Bob, if you're in Green Bay, share this. There's a company out there who is the same consulting company that's doing the consulting for this mine, that did the consulting for Flambeau mine. Their name's escaping me right now, but I will go ahead and talk to some more people as we go on this march, who are going to be able to let you know more information. Thanks for sharing in groups. Thanks for being here, Janet. Has he finished opening prayer yet? Has he finished the opening prayer yet?
Yeah, he just finished. Just putting it back on.
Be in our hearts and our minds as we walk, as we try to stand up for this river. I know it's not easy. Try to voice those concerns of that river and those animals and those plants. But I want you guys to keep in your hearts today. Don't get caught up here. Let's be here. We'll do this together. We'll do it in a good way, with a good heart. We'll try to be mindful about our approach. There are probably going to be people that might beep at you and give you the finger and things, but let's send love that way. Let's send positivity, because we're here in a positive way. We're here standing with our river, our beautiful river, and our land and our animals. I wanted to just say about that much and get my brother up here who will clue you into a lot of things that I forgot and a lot of things that I didn't say. He isn't as good looking as I am, but you know, bear with us. So, hello.
How y'all doing today? You guys are all here for a reason. Like Aquila said, we're all here for maybe different reasons, but our end goal is the same: is to protect that river and all of the life and you know, wildlife that doesn't have a voice. We talk a lot about human rights. You know, the human right to water, and on the other side of a right is a responsibility, and that's what all of us are exercising, is our responsibility to this river. If we want rights in this world, we have to respect the responsibility side of it as well. That's what the company is not doing. So, you know, we don't need to convince everybody here on how bad this is. Everybody kind of knows that. Not sure if you guys knew the Menominee River was just named the 10th most endangered river in the United States this last week. It's a pretty big deal, and it's starting to get national attention now. So when the CEO for Aquila was talking to the investors, one of the questions to the CEO was, what's the opposition to this? and the CEO said they tend to be small, they're not well organized, and there's no national attention to this. And so they're counting on us not showing up, and it's incumbent on us to go ahead and show them otherwise. So you can never trust these companies. They play in a system that's inherently not set up for us to win, but it doesn't have to be that way at the same time. So, a lot of what we're talking about is protecting Wisconsin's interest and how, the other side of the river is impacted by this. And in Wisconsin, there's a law called the Prove It Law. And this is a 19-year-old law in Wisconsin that if you want to open a mine, metallic sulfide mine in Wisconsin, you have to show an example of a mine that operated for 10 years successfully without polluting, and a mine that has been closed for 10 years without polluting. In Wisconsin, in the last 19 years, nobody's met that standard for a metallic sulfide mine. So Wisconsin is like the gold standard for environmental protection on these things. They're 150 feet onto the Michigan side. That still doesn't take away the impact of that's going to happen to Wisconsin. So, you hear a lot about why ain't Wisconsin standing up. Well, there's parts of this that people need to understand is, in Wisconsin, there's an effort right now to repeal that mining moratorium law. And our Senate District 12 person is Tom Tiffany. He's the champion of this, and he's over this district, right? So how can we count on Wisconsin to fight this mine on the Michigan side, because they won't be able to turn around and then try to repeal this law in Wisconsin? So when you wonder why aren't they at the table, there's reasons they're not at the table. And it's up to us as constituents to hold them accountable. And that's what we're talking a lot about. And at the beginning it was, let's help raise awareness, but the pivot now is, what are we going to do about it? Now that everybody's mad, now that everybody's aware of it, what are we actually going to do about it? And the Menominee tribe is working hard on this as well as a lot of others. And there's a website, www.noback40.org. That's the tribe's official website. We have tons of information on there, and we're developing these different positions on these things that people can help to understand the issues. So I couldn't encourage you guys more to go to that www.noback40.org, and there's a whole section on how we can help and what we can actually do to try to stop this. So that there's a lot of different reasons we're all here, and I think we're going to really show this company that they can just trample over our rights and the rights of our kids and our future generations to clean water. It's beyond me why the company would even think to do this. And obviously there's the whole burial mound side for Menominee, but at the end of the day, there's clean water here and there's fish, and this is not a renewable resource that's just going to naturally always be here. And there's wars being fought over water all over the world right now, and then things are going to come to our country as well at some point. So it's a bigger shift that's happening in the whole world and the country right now on standing up to these corporations and things. And we're in a really interesting time. Definitely think this is a winnable fight. So but the only way we're going to win this is to organize and come together. Like I said, we're all maybe here for different reasons, but our end result is the same: to stop this mine. So I couldn't encourage you guys more. www.noback40.org. Visit it, get in touch with us, and just happy to be here and be one cog in a bigger machine trying to stop this thing. So appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just a brief announcement if I can. My name is Dale Burry. Yesterday I had the opportunity to speak at the joint budget meeting for Wisconsin here at Marinette High School, where all representatives and all senators were there. And we were given 2 minutes to speak. So how much can you squeeze in 2 minutes? But we did our best. And Tom Tiffany was there. And I cited his bill that he introduced to repeal the Prove It First law. So anything that you see about the Prove It First law, make sure and get a flyer and call every number on there. We have all Michigan, they're not involved. But all the Wisconsin residents, make sure that you call and make sure that your representative knows what you're talking about. But it has to be kept on the books. One other thing I'd like to mention to you, that we appreciate Guy's prayer, and we know where our hearts are, and the reason your hearts feel it the way they do is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. God stated, I will create man in our image, and I will give him dominion over the land, the sea, the cattle, all down to the creepy things that crawl upon the earth. Every one of us have been charged with that responsibility. As you talk about responsibility for stewardship with our environment, it's our job. We have to answer to this, and Lord help us. But I want to make sure that we are all, as I mentioned, stay safe. You know, always treat one with kindness. You know, we're not here to start any kind of turmoil. But we'll talk more about some of the things that went on yesterday as the day progresses after the walk. And if anyone has something to contribute as far as the opposition for the mine, one thing I want to let you know, and this came right straight from Jeff Bootish over here, talked to Steve Casey, who is now the acting contact person for Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. Jeff asked me, who's going to be monitoring the water for safety? Well, he told Jeff, you're not going to like this, but Aquila is going to be doing the monitoring.
Oh, that really got
And they will be forwarding the results to Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. I talked to Larry Lynch, who is the head DNR and director of the mining division in Madison for Wisconsin. I said, who's going to be doing the water monitoring? And they said, well, we are going to accept the results that we receive from Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. So does it not appear that you've got the fox guarding the hen house? Something to think about and pursue. This is not stacking up well at all. One other item, and I'm finished, I promise. Because we are so fragmented, we have the Native Americans, we have the Save the Menominee River, we have Save the Wild UP. There's a move right now to organize all of these groups into one unit. And that unit will represent all of these grassroots organizations, but at the same time, I have been in contact with an entertainment attorney in Milwaukee. He's rated environmental, what did I say? Entertainment. You know, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But he's an environmental entertainment. He is number 3 in America as a litigator for the environmental cause. And what we want to do as this group is we want to be able to get to a point where we can retain his services and bring him aboard and let him fight this, because this is over my head. This is bigger than me, and I understand that. So hopefully that's coming soon. We're in the process. Anyway, I want to fill you in on what's going on. There is definitely hope at the end of the tunnel. We are not out of the we're not out of the woods yet. We're still fighting. And you know that they have already received 3 permits, and the wetlands is the one that's hanging balance right now. And as I understand it, the application alone is 2,300 pages. So there's a lot of information in there. It's due to DEQ by June 30th. So stick with us, folks. We've got much to go. Spread the word. Get a flyer from Leah Jane and call. We are badgers. We want to badger the daylights out of our politicians, and we need to do that. Thank you.
Continue to share, people. Yeah, this is. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it public rather than just private for your friends.
Oh, we got to do the walk?
I just want to say one thing. Okay, remember, August, the Cabela's are coming here for tournaments. And we can make $500 to $1 million every year. And if the fish dies, it's all done with. So we have to do protesting or something at that time too, to let them know we care.
All right, so we're gonna gather first for the group photo, everybody with their signs, and then we'll start with our march across the river. And we're gonna head down all the way to, does anyone feel up for walking all the way to 1st Street? Yeah, you can do it? Yeah. Okay, so for those who can make it, we're gonna walk to 1st Street and back, and we'll be walking right past Aquila's main headquarters, the Ogden Club, so we can, wave to them as we go by if you feel like it. And for those of you that don't want to walk that far, it's a lovely day to wave to your community on the bridge as well. So just do what you can, don't do more than you can, and thank you, everyone. So
how far is it to 1st?
How far is it to 1st Street? Maybe a mile. It's maybe a mile. A mile one way and a mile back. About a 2-mile walk. Yeah. Right? Okay. So, should we line up? Do you guys want to stand on the backside of this Wisconsin side, or down by the river?
Sorry, brother. So everyone that's just joining, this is the Stop Back 40. It's a sulfide mine, and as you can see, for a sunny day when people could be doing, they could be going out into consumer world and spending all their money and buying things to try and make them happy, but no, they're here to make sure that their rivers are protected, to make sure that the Menominee Nation, who is the only one of the few nations, maybe the only nation, who has no migration story. That river is their creation story. That's where the bear came from to bring about their people. And that's the very river that's going to be polluted by this mining company. The mining company is Aquila, and Aquila will be, we're going to be down by the headquarters. So you guys may want to take notice of that address and maybe send some mail, or come and say hello to Aquila and let them know what you feel about it. Maybe they have a Facebook page that you guys can find Aquila's Facebook page and send them some comments regarding what you feel about this mine. Keep it peaceful, keep it respectful, but point out, make sure they know how much opposition, because I guarantee their attorneys, their investors watch the Aquila Facebook page, watch the Aquila website, and if you can start to make their investors shaky because they don't want to invest in something that's going to be a long battle, they don't want to invest in something that's going to be a public relations nightmare, everyone who's watching can be a part of this, even if you're not here. Billy, there are no police here. It's beautiful. It's just peaceful and prayerful, and it's people standing up for clean water from all walks of life. You'll see from the very youngest to the very oldest, and you'll see from every nation, every relation, every generation. It's all the best parts of Standing Rock. I believe I'm just in Michigan, I believe, when I cross the bridge, correct? Michigan? Yeah, we go into Michigan. We're right on the Wisconsin-Michigan border. Water is life! Go back 40! Go back 40! Go back 40! Go back 40! I don't have a hand, my friend.
No, but this is important information.
I understand it's important information, but right? I'll grab one later on, my friend.
So what do you think?
Originally, just outside of London, but I moved to the States back in 2006. They sure are. It's beautiful. Alright guys, keep sharing this. Make sure this goes into some of the big No Dapple groups, goes into some of the big water protector groups that you know. Tag some friends and bring them along. Because if you can't be here, you can be here in spirit via this. And really make some huge awareness.
Yes, it is. I saw you all over the world.
And today I'm going to try not to have to run from the front to the back, but we'll see what happens. Live streaming to Facebook. Yeah, it's a cool little, it's a nice little rig. Some of it was gifted to me and other bits I bought. Anyone can do it. I'm not special. I just pick up a phone and turn it on and show people what's happening.
Can I get your name, sir? Would you mind? Your
Sorry?
name?
Kevin Gilbert.
Hang on just a second. Sorry. Kevin Gilbert?
Yeah.
Are you local or?
I'm all over the place. I started up at Standing Rock and I went viral on the night of the November 20th. I was one of the few people that could stream that live.
Okay.
Got 4 million views of it just on one of the streams. It's been used across all kinds of world media. So since then I've kind of been on a journey highlighting all the different issues that are threatening indigenous communities and always the pipelines and the mines, and in the throes of putting together a non-profit called Spark the Change to try and show other people how to do the same thing. Yeah, I got a card for you, brother. What are you with you?
Just a friend.
Cool.
I live up here, so.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work with the Grand Traverse Band of Indians regarding the Enbridge Pipeline 5 up in the Straits. Alright guys, so I probably lied to you. I probably am going to be running again today from front to back because it's going to be quite the walk. That's really cool, Billy. That's awesome. Thanks for being here, by the way. And as you can see, the interesting thing is this is families. This is people from all walks of life that are here. This is one of the main organisers. And as you can hear, it's a pretty popular thing for people that are coming past.
Save our river.
Maybe some of you guys can push this out to Truth Against the Machine and get them to share this out through their network. Activate Now with Ed Higgins. Maybe you can reach out to Myron Dewey. You could reach out to Indigenous Environmental Network. All of those people to share this out because this is super, super important. Now, I know I'm going to get in trouble beside the road as I always do. So Matt, you're going to get your wish because I'm going to be walking up beside this next. know who's leading this march, but they got some speed going. You're welcome, Sonia. Thank you for being here. Be sure to invite all your friends. As you can see, a lot of the people are representing different environmental organizations. You got Honor the Earth, which is Winona LaDuke's organization. I know she's going to be very involved in, there's an Enbridge pipeline coming through Wisconsin that she's going to be involved with this summer. Let's see if we can get like 250,000 people watching this like we had for the Nestle here, because this is just as important. Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
So you want to talk a little bit about this as you're walking?
Well, there's a Canadian mining company called Aquila Resources who has applied for permits to operate an over 800-acre facility, which will include an 83-acre open-pit sulfide mine 50 yards from our river. The Menominee River is one of the biggest tributaries that flows into the Green Bay of Lake Michigan, and it's also a boundary water between Michigan and Wisconsin.
So what are some of the, just for someone who has no idea and someone who doesn't want to be blinded by science and just wants a really basic understanding, what are some of the main dangers that you see to this?
Well, most of the rock is sulfide rock.
Okay.
And when sulfide rock is just existing on its own, it's totally fine. But when you start to grind it up, you increase the surface area, so there's more room for the water to flow. So when sulfide rock mixes with water and air, it becomes sulfuric acid, which is what your car battery is full of. So when you have battery acid leaching into your water, it's not good for you. It's not good for the sturgeon, which is a 250 million year old fish, which in the last 100 years, 99% of the sturgeon that populate Lake Michigan have died off, and of the remaining 1%, half of them are populated in the Menominee River. There's also 13 different endangered clams that are known to exist in the Menominee River, and
so there's a lot of ecology impacts from it. There's some people that will say this is great for the area because it's going to bring jobs, which is always the argument when these companies come in. They slate the number of jobs they're going to bring and what they're going to bring to the area. So how do you how do you respond to that? Because I know how I respond to that, but I'm curious to hear how you do.
Well, the jobs that they're going to bring actually they've already stated in a mining summit that they're going to employ the 600 out-of-work miners from the Empire Mine and bus them in from Marquette, which doesn't really impact our local community much at all. But even the 100 construction jobs that it would take to build for a year or however many years of building, I don't think that trading that for the existence of our entire community population and water supply for the end of eternity. When this mine would close, there's going to be over 65 million tons of waste rock and tailings that are just going to be filled back into the pit.
Now, for people that don't know, what are tailings?
Tailings is when they process the ore. It's all the stuff that they don't want. It's their chemicals. It's the waste rock. It's their cyanide. I've heard they're going to be using like 40 pounds of cyanide a month. And
which we obviously all know how poisonous cyanide is.
Yeah,
so really, when you're looking at it, you're looking at 600 jobs versus what the economy. You've got the economy that's based on this river, and also this runs into the Great Lakes, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is 95% of the U.S.'s fresh surface water, and it's 20% of the world's fresh surface water.
Yeah.
So potentially, you're looking at contaminating a water source that's used by tens of millions of people.
Yep.
For the sake of 600 jobs.
Yeah, for just a couple of weeks or a couple of years.
Aquila is an American company?
Canadian.
Yeah. So they're not based here. And so the revenue that they're bringing in is leaving. So there's no net win, even on the economic side of it, for the local community.
No, there's nothing good about it whatsoever. It's just very scary thought.
And then the organisation that you work very closely with, what's your organisation called, and how can people that are watching find it and support from their armchairs and from behind their laptops?
We started a group on Facebook that's called Save the Menominee River, Stop the Back 40 Mine. So if you could join that group, that would be wonderful. And there's also another group that came out of Kashina, our indigenous allies, and they have the Protectors of the Menominee River. And so if people stay connected to those two groups, we have different actions going on all the time, you know, walking for the bridge. We're going to be doing a trash cleanup locally here. We're doing letter writing. Right now we're asking people to contact the DNR of Michigan and not trade state land for the Aquila land, that they need the state land for their pit.
So my understanding is Aquila actually owns some separate parcels of land in another spot, and the state owns the land where the mine is proposed to be. And in order for that mine to go through, Aquila actually need to do a land exchange with the state. So the land that's owned by the state's really owned by the people. Yes. And I mean, you go further back, it's not really owned by the people. It actually was taken care of by the Menominee Nation. Yep. But right now it's considered owned by the people. So the people would surely have to have an input in that. So when is that coming up regarding any kind of public comment or ability to say anything regarding how they feel about having land given away to poison their local community?
It's available right now for comment. Do you want to come up here? It's available right now for comment, and you can comment any day, any time. And when you do call the DNR, I just ask that you're kind and respectful, because, you know, I don't think that they want this to happen either.
Right, and one thing that, I mean, I've been working a lot up in Michigan with the Grand Traverse Band of Dara Chippewa Indians. They've got a massive fight right now against Enbridge Line 5, which is under the Straits of Mackinac. Meant to be there 50 years, been there 64 years. Flow rates are 1 million gallons of light sweet crude oil every single hour. Again, in 20% of the world's fresh surface water, 95% of the US. And one of the things regarding that kind of stuff is that they've also got Nestle there that are looking to do a huge water grab. They're looking to increase from 150 litres a minute to 400. And there's been obviously everything going on in Flint, Michigan regarding the water that people have to wash with bottled water there because of the pollution and the scandal in that city. And then right on their doorstep you've got Detroit, where there were 44,000 shutoffs last year. The average water bill debt is like over $600, and Nestle for $200 are looking to be able to increase their ability to bottle the Great Lakes water, take it out of this area, make a profit from it.
95 cents a million gallons, I heard?
Yeah, it's insane. And so there was a public comments hearing recently down in Big Rapids that we attended.
I saw it.
And the Grand Traverse Band of Dara and Chippewa Indians recently had a tribal government-to-government consultation with the DEQ, Michigan DEQ. And one thing that they learned at that was there were over 45 to 50,000 public comments put in on the Nestle issue. So when the public really weighs in from their laptops at home on that kind of level, people are forced to listen.
Yes.
So I think one of the important parts to this is to really educate the public and get them, because it's really simple to go onto a website, send an email saying I oppose this because, and it's like 2 lines, it takes you a minute, 2 minutes to do it, but a lot of people don't know how to find that information. So maybe we could do something where you could give a little bit more information on that, maybe like a tutorial of how to do that at some stage.
Yeah. We also have there's a petition that's on Save the Menominee River. You'll have to scroll down a little bit because there's a lot of information that gets posted.
So is it SaveTheMenomineeRiver.com?
Save the Menominee River, Stop the Back 40 Mine on Facebook.
Okay, do you have a website as well, or is it just Facebook?
It's just mostly Facebook.
Just Facebook right
and
now?
Then, yeah.
If anyone watching right now can find that and post the link in the comments for everyone else. Sylvie, thanks for joining from Germany. It's appreciated that the world's watching, not just the locals, and you can also make a difference.
Definitely.
Cool. What was your name again?
Regina Sheltry.
Thank you, Regina. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Kevin.
I think we're letting people catch up. I'm going to scoot through this way. Which one? Uh-huh.
It has to be on the weekend where they have business.
Right.
Yeah, I don't mind going down there. Well,
They don't bother me
and I'm
much.
certainly old. Weekdays they don't have hardly any business, but on the weekend it would be better. Well, this is the weekend. Well, I know, but I mean that's a long ways from that church.
So we're just going to catch up ahead of this. Thank you for sharing our community rebuilders. If everyone that's here can share this again, if you can all invite 10 more friends. We know right now that Facebook is working very hard to ensure that these issues are not put out there and do as much as possible to stop water protectors getting their message out. So if you guys can assist by sharing, that would be great. And I'm going to find someone else to talk to because I know you're sick of my voice. But you can hear the public support by all the horns that you hear. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Would you like to say a few words and talk a little bit about why this is important to you? You don't have to, I've not got the camera on you right now. But...
Okay. I feel that this is very important, that water is a way of life and you cannot pollute water.
And where are you from yourself?
Myself, I'm from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yep.
So when did you start looking at this issue with the Aquila mine and the back 40 mine here?
I heard about it about a month ago that I did a water walk before, and now I'm progressing and I'm becoming more into what's going on here, and I'm very aware of the situation, and I'm hoping and praying that it will get better.
Awesome. What's your name?
Tyler Joseph Bonanno.
And Tyler, where did you do the water walk?
The water walk, where did we do the water walk? Green Bay, yeah.
Was that
Green
with
Bay in Oneida.
Mother Grandma Josephine, or was that a separate water walk? Was that with the water walkers that are doing the big route up through Duluth through Canada, or was this a different water walk?
It was a shorter water walk. It was out by the
through the some of the bank investors through Green Bay and the TV stations, the media, and ended at the YMCA.
That's awesome. Well,
in Green Bay.
Amazing to be here.
Yes, it is.
How did you find out about it? I'm curious, because in Pennsylvania, how would you know about this in Pennsylvania? What?
I'm from Pennsylvania, but I currently live in Wisconsin right now.
Okay. And do you remember how you first found out about this?
Yes, through her, Mary Kay.
That's interesting. The creative her there right now, huh? So word of mouth really works really well then.
Oh yes, it does. It's very effective. And I was on the Menominee Reservation for a while.
Oh yeah, what were you doing there?
Visiting the family.
Do you have some indigenous roots yourself?
Myself, yes.
What is it?
Yeah,
Cherokee.
I got a little bit of Cherokee in me, but I'm mostly Italian.
Mostly Italian?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
They didn't put much effort into it, honestly.
Yeah, everyone's indigenous from somewhere, huh?
Right. Everyone has the same blood.
Drink the same sacred water.
Yes.
Same water that's been here since the beginning of time.
Right.
Without
Somehow we
clean
missed.
water, we'll lose life, I believe.
Yes.
Life of the animals, the trees, the nature. Well, of course, we have to have clean water to drink.
Yeah, and is it just yourself that you do this for? Who are you walking for today? Why are you?
Future generations, I am. And myself, you know.
Yeah, it's for the kids and their grandkids. As you can hear, there's a heck of a lot of support for this. Thank you. Is it okay to ask your daughter anything?
Sure.
Hi, sweetie. Now, we're showing this to Facebook right now. Do you want to say anything about why you're here? No? Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna hide too. Well, I better not. I walk into the pole. I think it's really awesome that you're bringing your daughter along for something.
My
like
niece.
that.
Yes.
Oh, your niece. Cool.
Yes.
But it's really important because
Well, it's her future.
Right.
It's all of ours, but it's hers. You know. You're gonna go back.
and you know there's a disconnect in some ways between the older and the younger generations. In Western culture, we don't value our elders in the same way that is valued in the indigenous culture. So it's really important in my eyes to bring the younger generation through, because these are the people that are going to be making the change. It's too late for my generation to really do a lot, but it's this next generation, and it's understanding how to bring them into the knowledge, because this isn't something that's shown in the media. It's not something that's easy to find out how to do this.
Right.
So thanks for being here. Do you live right here in
I live in Marinette.
Marinette? So that's the other side of the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where
And my
I
family
am.
has land in Daggett right by Stevenson.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And that's, how close is that to the mine roughly?
Pretty close. Probably 15 minutes, not even. Very close.
And what do you feel the main threat is from this mine? I don't need like blinded by science. Like, for someone who doesn't know and doesn't have a scientific knowledge, just in really basic words that any 10-year-old could understand.
I think our health. I think all the side effects from everything is just our health. I mean, it's a water we drink. Water is everything, you know. So if we don't have that, we have nothing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is this like the front up here or?
If we go down a little ways,
Okay.
up here.
Okay.
It's kind of kitty corner from that big brick building.
Oh, not bad. There's a bench, just a couple of benches there if you need to sit down as well.
Yeah, we need a hand, sister.
So while we're we're waiting for the lights for a second. I don't think these guys are going to be nice. But as there's a little break, if you guys can continue to invite friends and share this. I know it's a beautiful day and being outside is the place to be, but if you are seeing this, share it and let other people know about it. Because, you know, if you live anywhere in the Great Lakes area, this affects you. About 250. I don't know how much this was. It was a gift, but it's not a lot. It's just to live stream. It just gives you a better audio for it. But you can find it out on go to my website, link out to my Facebook, and you'll see a bunch of live streams. I was at the event last night up on Menominee Nation at the college, where they had some really great speakers and panel discussion. So all that's up there. It will gradually get up onto YouTube, but hasn't happened yet.
Were you out at the Dakota Access Pipeline?
Yes, I was. I was up there on November 20th when everything happened on the bridge that night. I was one of the few people who was able to get a live stream out, which is how this journey started really, because I got 4 million views. So I got like 78,000 people who follow on Facebook, so I travel around showing what's going on in the different indigenous nations and what threats are being faced. And it's always the pipelines, always the mines, always in the indigenous land that they were chased onto in the first place. And now they want to take everything that's underneath it and destroy the water that everyone survives off of.
So that's the stuff up at Dakota was your first sort of
I started at Mississippi Stand, which was the Dakota Access Pipeline, but on the Iowa end by the by the Mississippi River there. And from that, I spent a month there did quite a bit of live streaming there, but nothing crazy. I had a handful of thousand views down there, but then when I got up to Standing Rock, it continued to grow. And
Okay, so you were in Standing Rock, 'cause I was watching your live feeds, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, because you caught the water canyon and stuff, yeah?
I did.
Yeah.
Some of my footage was used by NBC Online to show what truly happened that night, along with digital smoke signals and Staffa Hoef and some other people. There was only a handful. I think Unicorn Riot had some stuff out that night, but they were messing around with signal so much. But it's just continued. They didn't kill the movement, they just scattered it everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being there.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
Thank you for being here today, too.
Yeah, but it was great getting that, because we couldn't be there.
Yeah, I'm amazed how many people I've met who saw it, who were there, or who'd been there and were leaving and saw it and came back. It was just insane.
Yeah.
He was at the event last night.
Oh, okay.
You got garbage bags. Yeah.
So for anyone just joining, this is a peaceful prayer walk drawing awareness to Aquila's Back 40 mine. It's going to be 150 feet from the Menominee River. It's going to be an open pit mine. It's a sulfide mine that is potentially going to have 60 million tons of sulfide rock, which when mixed with water creates sulfuric acid. And if anyone went to school, they know that's what's in car batteries. So if you want to put car battery acid in your drinking water, go ahead and continue to do nothing about this. But if you prefer to have drinking water, that didn't have car battery acid in it, then share this out. Find a way to make the public comments. We're going to show you where Aquila are based right here. They have their headquarters down here. Find them online. Send them some messages online, and start to let them see that their Facebook page gets hit by people talking about this, and do it in a peaceful and prayerful manner. But when you're finding Aquila online, you can be sure that their investors are going to be online as well. And if their investors start to see they're invested in something that's going to become a public relations nightmare, or is going to take a long time to complete, then the investors will start to drop off. And Aquila as a company don't have a working capital, they rely on their investors. So if you can get to their investors, and there will be a public list of those available, and let them know you don't support this, and that if they support this, you will continue to make sure that they know on their social media, then that's a very good way to draw attention to those investors. They're investing in something that the public isn't interested in. So I don't have a link right now, I'm walking, but I'm going to be building some stuff on this. If you go out to, I'm sure if you go out to Back 40, stop Back 40.
I don't know, but
.org. Someone else can put that in the comments. Give him the attention he wants.
No attention. No Back 40. No tension. Give everybody jobs. Yeah. Right.
And so I mean, it's like, and they're going to get this job and just
yeah.
All right.
But I mean, it's in the water. Nobody's
area here is
nobody's
no
going
job.
to benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can find the links. If you look at Back 40, stopback40.org, there's tons of links on there. You'll be able to find them out and post them in the comments. I can't walk, talk and type. I haven't managed that yet, or I've tried before, but it doesn't end pretty. Hey guys, do you want to say anything about why you're walking here today? We're streaming this out to Facebook and trying to draw some more awareness to it, and trying to show the different people from all different walks of life here and why it matters. Are you happy to?
Sure. You know, they keep saying that they're going to bring more jobs and that's how they're going to help the community. But, you know, we have experience. We've seen mines in the past. You know, the last one in this area was open for 40 years and it closed, and everything that was left in its wake was environmental disaster. And, you know, we just needed to stop. You know, I've been here ever since I was a little kid. I fished this river. I'm raising my kids to fish on this river. You know, we can't afford an environmental disaster that's going to dump into our Great Lakes. We've all seen the articles about how they've called the mines vetted and all their safety precautions. Every one of them on record have failed. You know, the Lac du Flambeau mine, you know, they said that was their big pillar of success as far as a non-leaking mine. Well, now it's leaking. Now it's leaching contaminants into the groundwater in the surrounding area. It's a disaster. All of them have failed. All of them. So, you know, this is our town, it's our water. We don't have anything else. We don't want to go anywhere else. You know, there's 3, 4, 5 generations of my family here. No, we're not going to go. We don't want them here. They're not going to bring any mass amount of jobs to this community that are going to stay. They're a Canadian company. So pretty much everything that they gain, everything that they pull out is going to go to the Canadians and go to their company officials and leave us a wasteland.
So what's the best thing that people can do who are watching this, maybe can't come here? What are some of the things they can do to help you guys stop this?
Contact your government officials in Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin's starting to get involved in it. Hopefully they can do some good. There's a land trade deal that's supposed to be going on with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources right now. They can contact their officials in Michigan, the DNR, tell them that they want it stopped. They don't want a trade deal. They've got 1 permit left to go. We need to try and keep them from getting that so they can, you know, we don't want them damaging our waterway.
No, absolutely.
The biggest thing is to get involved, have a voice, talk to your government officials, tell them how you feel about it.
We're gonna hang out in front of the OC for a few minutes while we regroup.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it sounds like a great plan. And the OC is the headquarters of
right.
Aquila.
That's right.
We're gonna stay in the location.
So any of the younger generation want to speak about why they're here? Anyone happy to speak?
They want to talk.
That's fine.
When I was there the other night protesting in front of here, you had your CEO meeting.
You're talking about our kids, Jim.
Yeah, but any of the kids here want to talk about why they're here? Because it's important, because there's a lot of kids out there that maybe want to do what you do and don't know how to do it. So if anyone's interested in where this is, I can give you a pretty good look at this building. This is the Ogden Club. What street are we on here?
10th.
10th. Cool. Can we walk in this place? No, that's fine.
Get a job! Get a job!
No. So this is right where Aquila Resources is located.
Yep.
So if anyone's interested about this company, water is life!
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to us! Happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Menominee! Happy birthday to you! Love this sign. Gold fever has replaced common sense.
Exactly. 49 gold.
You you want to talk a little bit about why you're here? We're streaming live on Facebook. Are you happy to?
Sure, it's fine.
So where are you from?
Menominee, Michigan. Wallace, Stevenson, lived in Wallace.
And why have you chosen to come out on this beautiful sunny day and rather than enjoying some recreation, be out here?
Because I would be enjoying all the recreation all the time. I'm a kayaker, hiker, photographer, nature lover, animal, whatever to do with anything nature, and this is exactly the day to be out in it. And common sense somebody has to get some common sense and wake up to, I mean, I wouldn't build an outhouse next to 50 yards within their property, and they would consider that, you know, inappropriate. So I don't understand how, I've looked at 2 different properties over time, and I couldn't ever have water going to anything because it's too close to the bay or too close to a stream that now you can, you know, mow lawn over. But nothing, I don't know how they can get by with the, you know, that theory that it's okay to try the possibility of moving water to be able to possibly have, you know, everything going into it and flowing. Water flows underground as well as above, and I don't know, it's something has to wake somebody up that this just can't be. It's not just, you know, the water, it's the wildlife, the turtles, all life.
Stop the Ogden
It's
Club!
just,
Boycott
it's going to
the
go
Ogden
from
Club!
the river to the, you know, Green Bay to Michigan to Lake Superior. It isn't going to just stop and just stop. You can't contain. It's not a pond. So it's for the future. It's a legacy. You know, you can't just keep on doing what we're doing to wildlife. You know, it's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely, totally agree.
You know, it's insanity. I mean, you're going to lose everything. You know, they've had it already where they're going, you know, they don't allow motorboats or anything to power around loon areas because they discovered over time in certain, you know, water areas where they weren't hatching out only because of noise. You know, it's so how are you going to have all that? And you know, you're going to lose more than just even the water impurity is going to happen. It's going to be where you're going to lose a lot more wildlife all around because it's going to be the constant noise. You know, plus now I'm digging. When you start with the digging, you're going to be digging up everything. All kinds of wildlife is there. You know, you've got your, you know, from your, not to sound like a tree hugger, but I mean, you're going to be digging up turtles, snakes, frogs. You lose all the, you know, this is a big area for monarch migration. You're going to be losing everything in all the nesting areas, you know, that are in the shrubberies, the trees. It goes beyond, you know, just, you know, even cleanliness of water. It goes way beyond that. You know, and they've taken years on cleaning up the Menominee River the way it was from, you know, years ago when factories and machine shops were allowed to just dump into the river streams and that. It's taken years and millions to clean all that up, and now it's like give it a chance and, you know, start it all over.
It's like right back to where they were before.
And actually, I mean, it's not even though I'm not, say, you can do something away from something, but when you talk about 50 yards away from a flowing water stream, not a pond or a reservoir, it's a flowing stream. How are you going to stop snow runoff from melting and going down? And you can make any chart and any graph look good, and you know, it's just time to. I really don't know what's going to turn somebody with common sense to wake up and say, you know what, this is silly. If I wanted to even, like I say again, if I wanted to get a piece of property and put an house on and live in it, I wouldn't be allowed to because you're not allowed to do something like that. And farmers, they're complaining about farmer runoff. And so why is this okay? You know, they're not listening to experts. I mean, I'm no expert in anything, but I've been at meetings and they're not even listening to the experts on, you know, mines that have polluted and gone bad. So, thank you for your time.
Well, I appreciate your time and thank you for being here too. So this is right where the Aquila headquarters are, and this is a Canadian company. It's a resource company. So feel free to find them online. Thanks for being joining in Kickapoo. Welcome, Kansas. So one thing you can do is find these guys online and let them know publicly exactly how you feel. You can send them some mail and let them know. Let their investors know. That's important. It's about the investors. And if their investors start to see this as a bigger problem than it is a benefit, they will pull out. And Aquila doesn't have the resources despite it being in their name, they don't have the resources to do this. They're not a very rich company. They rely on investors, and those investors don't want to have a troubled investment. So find out who they are. There will be a release of those investors, and go out to the websites. Welcome, Seneca Nation. Thank you for joining us, Sonny. Please share this out. And understand that this is the same as Energy Transfer Partners. This is the same as Enbridge. These are not American companies. Enbridge is a Canadian company, which is another threat to the Great Lakes. This Aquila is a Canadian company. So once again, it's about raping Mother Earth. And today especially, this is Earth Day. Howdy Ed, please share this out. Nice of you to join. So if you guys want to look them up and find out, put some information in the comments. Stick a website in the comments. Feel free to also contact this is the Ogden Club. Feel free to reach out to them on Facebook and let them know how you feel about them supporting Aquila. And because, you know, the more people that reach out and publicly, peacefully and politely put their point across, simply like this. Sulfide mine, ain't no one who got time for that. Doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of the time, the more complicated people talk about this, the less people want to be involved because they think it's above their head. But if you just tell them, you know, it's like putting battery acid into your drinking water, do you want that or not? No? Alright, then you're against the Back 40 mine. It's that simple. And that doesn't even mention the other side of it, which is this, and the other side of it is being that it's on the Menominee Nation and it's affecting sacred burial grounds. It's once again going across sacred land that is going to be destroyed, digging up ancestors for the sake of profit for a Canadian company. Would you like to say anything at all, ma'am, about this is going out live to Facebook? We've got a few people watching, and just why you're here and what you feel about this. I can see obviously you're very involved on the Menominee Nation side and how it affects the original land caretakers here.
We do not want a sulfide mine right next to our Menominee River. It's bound to pollute it. They all have. And the Menominee people have ancient burial grounds out there, sacred mounds, ancient gardens that have been there for thousands of years, and we respect them and their land.
How do some of the local businesses feel about this? Because obviously all of these businesses down here, a lot of them depend on trade from a large amount of tourism in the summer. It's a big tourist town, isn't it?
It is. It is. And the Menominee River draws a lot of fishermen. In fact, Cabela's, a nationwide sporting store, is hosting a walleye tournament on the river this summer. And it's because of the Menominee River and the great fishing. So it will affect the tourism greatly.
So my understanding, here's the Ogden Club, and next to it is the Aquila's Resources Office. What's the relationship between these two places? Do you know?
From what I am told, the people that own the Ogden Club are investors in the mine, and in turn they rent the upstairs to Aquila. Some of the people that own the Ogden Club are actually employees of the mine. Tom Quigley and his wife Robin are big, I believe Tom Quigley is the vice president of exploration,
Our audience has just said the communications manager of Aquila is the owner and manager of the Ogden Club.
Oh, okay, yep.
So
She is the public relations person.
Is she there right now?
I'm not sure if she is or not.
Because I'd really like to ask these guys a little bit about like why they're choosing to invest in something that's going to affect so many
Well,
people.
they're not from this area. They moved here and they bought the Ogden Club as a front for the Aquila.
Okay.
So, you know, not only do they own the Ogden Club, but they're getting rent money from Aquila by renting. And I just recently heard it's $6,000 a month. So isn't that a pretty penny in their pocket?
That's a nice little penny in their pocket, but it's you would have thought that if enough people were to find the Ogden Club online and to comment and let them know their feelings politely and respectfully on Facebook and on their website, the same thing for the Aquila Resources and more so the other investors, because when the investors start to see they're invested in something that's going to become a long-term hassle, it's going to become a public relations nightmare for them, they don't want to be invested in that kind of thing because there's other things they can invest in to make their money.
Right, and believe me, it is going to be a public relation nightmare because we are not going to give up. This is our community. We don't want poisoned water. We don't want our wells to go dry. We don't want our rivers and streams out there going dry. We don't want cyanide in the water. We don't want manganese levels so high that it causes symptoms of Parkinson's disease. All that will happen with this mine.
So my understanding as well is Aquila they're not a very solvent company. They don't have a huge amount of resources, even though it says resources in their title. When it comes to financing, they depend so heavily on their investors.
Right, they're a fledgling company, and it's the stocks that they sell are penny stocks. You're not going to make money in penny stocks. I feel sorry for the local investors who've invested their retirement money into this place because they're the ones that are going to lose out. I actually feel sorry for them.
Well, thank you. And what was your name, please?
My name is Tina.
Tina, and how, if people want to find out more information, where would you say the best place to find more information is on this?
You can go on MenomineeRiver.com or on Facebook. Join us at Save the Menominee River / Stop the Back 40 Mine.
And that's 40.
I need a drink of water. No, I have water.
You have one? Is
Thank
my
you.
pack undone?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, can you zip it up? No, I didn't. Letchworth, Hertfordshire, just outside of London. But I moved here in 2006. So yeah, so I was up at Standing Rock, and I've been to various different places as to regarding the.
It's a dirty shame
the
what the government
pipelines.
does.
It is. I try to stay out of the politics side and just look at the thing that we're all dependent on, which is the water,
Exactly.
and also the fact that who was here originally.
You could all invest in Nestle and have bottled water.
I was down at the Nestle hearing in Big Rapids. My live stream down there got over 250,000 views for the public hearing there. Yeah. And they, the Grand Traverse Band of Adair and Chippewa Indians had a tribal consultation, government-to-government consultation with the Michigan DEQ.
Yeah.
One of the things they learned was that there have been between 45,000 and 50,000 public comments submitted regarding the Nestle permit to increase their
Well, we got online and we made our comments known.
Awesome. And I know that you guys are going to be having a public hearing regarding the land swap.
Well, there's going to be a public hearing on the wetlands permit when it comes in. I don't know when the land swap. I hope they do not go through with that because that land is native ancestral land.
Right, absolutely. So we're going to walk down and just show kind of this beautiful.
It is. It's
this
a beautiful
area. I've not been here, so I'm going to walk down to it. But one of the things that the DEQ did tell the Grand Traverse Band was that they're going to continue, even after the public comment session's closed, they're going to continue in consultation with the sovereign nations regarding the Nestle issue.
Good.
Which is a step in the right direction. I mean, you could argue that shouldn't be a big thing to shout about. It should be the way it is.
Well, they shut the Menominee people right out. They don't listen to them about the ancestral lands at all.
Nope, they don't.
Nope, it's a dirty, rotten shame. You know, we have lost so much faith in our government.
Absolutely.
And the DEQ, somebody just said, it's not the Department of Environmental Quality, it's the destruction of environmental quality.
Right.
So it's just, we cannot, 99% of the people cannot figure out how they can't see that this mine is going to destroy this area.
It's not rocket science, is it? It
No,
really
it
isn't.
isn't.
It's
It
as simple as saying, you know, do you want sulfuric acid, which is battery acid,
Right.
in your drinking water?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
I said, so I can walk up and take a glass out of my tap water and hand this for a sample. There should be a foreign entity that comes in there periodically, every month, 2 months, and do their monitoring of the
Guess
water.
what? Hey,
Not affiliated anything with
but guess
Aquila
what?
Resources.
We can stop this mine, so let's just stop it and forget about it. Yeah, exactly. We can stop it. Get a hold of your rep. Find your New York, call your governors of states, I told you.
This mine will not happen. Let's chant that. This mine will not happen. This mine will not happen. This mine will not happen. Now we'll figure out how to make it not happen.
Okay, why don't we try and get the names of the 8 states that I mentioned, their governors and that, and put it around so somebody can get everybody's name and then start calling every one of them from Indiana, Minnesota, New York, everything.
They don't do
Yes, of the Great Lake Compact, because that will help out. Because then New York will help out. All these other ones will. Well, don't I call the governor in Wisconsin, because I already called him, and he told me it's none of their business.
One thing that was mentioned last night at the Menominee Nation when they had their gathering last night was there's a list of investors, and if people find out who these investors are and find them online, find them through their websites, find the numbers for these people, and let them know how much public opposition there is to this investment in this, these investors will go and find something else to invest in if this is going to become a public relations nightmare for them. And you can push it away, and by coming out and more people coming and speaking, going to the little meetings, those investors are going to watch online what's happening. They're going to watch Aquila's online website, they're going to watch their Facebook page, and if you can start to show that people there are starting to make it uncomfortable, those investors are going to go and find something else. The figures that were mentioned last night, I think, was one of the investors, the third largest investor, has, I think, $4 billion, of which they've invested about, I think, 7 million. It may be 17, I can't remember the exact figures. So without being funny, it's a drop in the ocean for them. So they're not really watching that closely what's happening. But if people start to make their life uncomfortable and show them that this isn't wanted, show them it's a bad investment, then they'll go and find something else. There's a million things out there to invest for that they don't need a headache for. And I know that's kind of a very economic way to look at it, and it doesn't look at the ecology side of it. It doesn't look about the sacred side, the burial grounds, the fact that this river is where the Menominee Nation had their creation story. This is where the bear stepped out and their nation was born from. I know it negates that, but unfortunately sometimes when looking at the public side of it and getting more people engaged, it has to be about the money side to push those investors out, because they don't care about the wildlife, they don't care about the river, they don't care about the sacredness of it, but they do care about their pocketbook and that they're a PR nightmare.
Because right now they need $228 million to start this, I guess.
I mean, honestly, the government's not going to stop it for us.
No.
If we can make it look as a horrible investment as much as possible. I mean, take down the Ogden Club, take down everybody that we can. Like he said, find out who's locally invested in it. It doesn't make sense to, I mean, we can go to the elected officials, we can go to the government like that, but it absolutely doesn't make sense to put the ball in their court, because it's not. It's us. We're the people. It's our town. This is our water. Our water is sucked out of this bay. We bathe in this. I won't drink it, honestly. I won't drink tap water in this town, but we bathe in it. Do you really want more toxic chemicals? We've had issues with the Menominee River forever. Exactly. These are our beaches. It's our choice to make. If we put up a big enough of a fuss, they're running. They're going to run. They're already afraid to show their face in public. I promise you. We know who they are individually. We've called them out. We're going to continue to do so. We're just at their place of business. So that's what we have to continue to do. We have to spread the word as much as possible without giving the power to somebody else. It's not somebody else's power to have.
You're talking about how much money they're going to make by mining all this stuff. What about our resources here? What about our fisheries and everything else? What about that? That's a lot of money that comes in. I'm a fishing guide, so that's my job. If this mine goes through, I ain't got no job.
That's our main source of tourism.
What about the property owners who are going to have to disclose when they sell, if they sell a property around here, that their water has poison in it?
60% of your population, what it costs.
The wealthy are not going to help us in this situation. We as a community have to stand together and inform people on the levels that they are. Every hunter should be out there because this will poison the deer. Every fisherman should be out there because this will poison the fish. Everyone who pays a water bill should be out there because eventually we're going to be paying two. One for the water that takes away our sewage and another for the water that we have to buy from the store to drink from and bathe in and cook with, because this is what's happening in towns all over the country. And if you think they're going to do for us what they did for Flint to try and fix their problem, you're wrong, because the Michigan state government has proven again and again that they don't care about the Upper Peninsula. So it's our job, because this river runs like a backbone through our community. Amen, brother. So to poison this river, we may as well be poisoning our own blood directly. I don't want to drink poison.
Right. Amen. I don't want to eat dead.
So every way, every level that we can reach these people on, whether it as a property owner, as a water drinker, as a fisherman, as a hunter, every hunting organization. Marinette County was known as the white-tailed deer capital of the world. Well, what's going to happen when the deer start dying because they get poisoned from the water? What's going to happen to that industry?
And bass fishing, we are great for bass fishing.
Oh yeah, the tournaments will die. Everything in this town generates from this river.
You know how much Erin Brockovich would? She was on a show. She said, "Call me. Anybody. Town has water. She's national."
Did you call her?
I don't have a computer.
We've tried reaching out to her. She's a little busy, guys.
I'll try and reach out. I met her and her scientist, so I'll try and reach out. I've got his number.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
What do these people at Aquila care?
They don't.
No, because they're not going to bring in any jobs. It's not going to help our community. Not only is it not going to help our community, but when they're done, they'll just move away and leave us to live in the wasteland that they've created.
And they'll be rich and walk and say, "Ha ha, you suckers."
You know, Gutierrez once said, "We drink from our own wells." Well, that phrase applies here.
You know, you have
from our own wells.
Our river, this bay has gained national attention because of fishing shows even. They have said for the last 5-6 years the next world record walleye will come out of either the Menominee Forge or the Peshtigo. We have a top 10 walleye fishery in the country.
Watch Channel 32.
And they want to destroy this, all the tourism it brings in every spring.
And we can make $500 to at least $1 million every year from Cabela's fishing tournaments.
You have an advantage here, though. You see, what I learned last night was really crucial at the Menominee Nation. I'm just getting involved in understanding this. But one thing I learned is this mining company is a fledgling mining company. So up in the Straits of Mackinac, you've got Enbridge, who are a multi-billion-dollar company. What one of the nations there, the Grand Traverse Band of Adora and Chippewa Indians, did was when there was a public hearing, they put on buses for their tribal citizens and for the local citizens. They took over 160 people to the public comments. So all of a sudden, Enbridge saw this huge influx of people. And since that point, Enbridge have been running little meetings all over the state with 25 staff members to go and try and say how great Enbridge are and show this amazing piece of pipe. They've got billions of dollars, they can do that. If you have the same number of people turning up at the public comments and scaring Aquila, they don't have that ability to run all that money and do all that PR piece themselves. So that's another advantage you have. So that's a real positive in this, that the fact it's a fledgling company for here.
Look at it in Michigan. When they went to get them samples in, they had a mudslide. Remember that? They shut it down right away because they knew people were going to get hurt. And this is what can happen here, because the mudslides can come anytime. Just like what happened in Kearney, Michigan, when it opened up, that land, it split wide open. And they can put a big berm up there and that could split wide once and for all. If we don't, that little one's going to be gone. These little ones are going to be gone.
This is a really smart site. I love it.
Pretty simple.
But that's the way to do it, because people out there don't want to be blinded by science. They get confused.
Yep.
Look at that. And
I was going to bring a sign to that said complacency. Look it up.
right?
Google it.
Can you talk a little bit about why you're here and let people know? Because I'm just trying to get the opinions of different people here and kind of share this out a little.
You know, we're just a little community. But we have this lake that is so important to everybody. And we know Michigan isn't going to be able to clean it up because we're a poor state. And it will happen that we'll be polluted, but we don't have the resources to clean it. So it's not going to happen, and it'll be too little too late. And I'm a farmer, and I need the water. I'm an organic farmer. If I can't water my organic plants with clean water, there is no such thing as organic food.
You know, I'll tell you a story. I went down to the Ponca Nation down in Oklahoma, and they have a lot of fracking right on their reservation. They also have a carbon black facility from Taiwan on their reservation. So where they hunt and fish and gather, they had built an organic garden, and they had lived by all the rules for this organic garden. They were going to use it for feeding their elders, feeding their youth, feeding the people who were suffering with diabetes and the community outside of that. And when it came to the time to test it, they couldn't use any of it, because although they had followed every single rule, the pollution that was coming from outside from the carbon black plant made their food
I buy
poisoned.
the more expensive organic seeds. I buy organic potting soil so that I can treat people with good food. But I won't be able to, and nobody will be able to up here.
Food's medicine.
Yeah.
Just like water.
Pretty big. Yeah, it's food. It's not just water. It's everything.
It's in everything. Thank you for being here and taking your time to be here and
Thank you for
speaking
being
as
here.
well.
Thank you.
He's going to take their Jeep over. Yeah, okay.
They already lined their pockets.
No.
That's all this is. They just want to line their pockets and then they're going to be gone.
Yes.
Who's going to be here? Us.
How you doing?
I'm good. What's your name?
Skip Blanc.
Skip. Would you be happy to talk a little bit about why you're here from? Are you part of the Menominee Nation? Is that your?
I'm part of the Stockbridge Mohegan and her Brothertown Indians.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of this water from your standpoint? From
my standpoint, this is life. This is the lifeblood that flows through Mother Earth. It's the same blood, or same as the blood flowing between you and me. And without it, you can't have life.
I know it's crazy.
It's that simple, really.
It's that simple.
How have we got into such a mess? What?
Greed. Greed.
Yeah.
It comes down to greed.
How can we solve this problem? How can we move forward from this? What is part of the solution that we need to do? What's the missing link?
That I don't know. I wish I had the answer.
You still live by your beliefs, your sacred ways, your traditional ways, your culture.
Yes.
Explain your relationship to nature, to Unshi Makar, to Grandfather Sky, to Grandmother.
Mother Earth is the earth is my mother. She provides all things necessary for life. Provides food and shelter. Everything, medicines, everything that you need to sustain life.
And is that just your culture, or is that standard across all the different nations' cultures within the
all native people believe that way?
So, is that the main difference between the cultural beliefs and the way that the indigenous people live, not just here but across the world, and the way that the Western so-called civilized nations live? Is that the main difference you see as to where the disconnect is, that
Yes.
a lot of Western cultures become so disconnected from their
Yes.
from their birth mother?
Yes.
what can we do to help bring everyone back to the birth mother? What are some simple things that can help? Maybe you're not going to connect maybe the older generation that have lived this way, but maybe the seventh generation, the kids that are coming through from both the indigenous nations, but also from everywhere.
It starts with teaching the youth. You have to teach the youth these things. Otherwise you fall into the same role as everybody else.
Can you teach the youth in a classroom?
That I'm not sure.
Or is it more about touching the water, feeling the grass?
It's touching. It's feeling. You can do both. I believe that you can do both. But you have to, you also have to believe in that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing a few minutes and letting the people out there know some of the basic things. What's the major threat from this mine as you see it, in the simplest way you can possibly put it? Because a lot of people get put off by a lot of these things I've noticed, because people talk in acronyms and they talk in science. And
the way I see it is, you're going to ruin all of this. You're going to ruin all of this. You're going to ruin the fishing. You're going to ruin the water that you have to drink. You know, it's going to get to a point where bottled water, all you're going to get is bottled water, and it's going to cost you $10 for a bottle of water.
And it's not just about the two-leggeds either, is it?
No, it's the two-leggeds, it's the four-legged, it's the birds that fly, it's your fish that swim in the water. It's all your little creatures in the water that feed the fish. It's everything. It's life.
Because it's all related.
It is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you. Let me ask you this, okay? Where's this going up? Or
on my Facebook page. It's live to Facebook right now. It will have a few thousand views, but you're more than welcome to grab it and share it out. I've been streaming the whole March. And if you pull up my website, you can click on, there's a thing that says follow me on Facebook, and I'll take you to my Facebook page.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. Alright guys, so by doing that chatting with Skip, we've actually lost the majority of the people. We're going to be walking back the other way now, so I'm going to end this for now, and we'll go back because there's going to be some more speakers and we'll come in with another live stream. In the meantime, I'd ask if you would all continue to share this out as many places as you can, invite your friends, and make sure you come back and join us when we get to the park to learn a little bit more about what you can do to help. Thanks for being here and have a beautiful Earth Day. Take care guys, bye bye.